Well, it's good afternoon, my YouTube friends. It's Margaret again from Orchids and Garden in England, and we can all surface today. I tell you, yesterday was absolutely horrendous. I came up here and the only ones that got watered yesterday were the Vandas. But the orchids are absolutely lovely. This is Chysis lamingii. And this is the one that blooms on an immature pseudobulb. I've just turned it round so you can see it. So today, be careful, we have 26.4 in the grow room, 60% humidity, 25.3 outside, 69% humidity, and we breathe a sigh of relief. This one's got to be watered. This is L.C. Burnman's little palm. This one's been watered. This is Laelia lobata. Doing very nicely. Step down and step back up. And this one, of course, is Pastoral Innocence. And loves it. That one is not happy at the moment, but I'll persevere with it. It might drop 2 leaves, and that's Phalaenopsis Lease on High. These will get watered today. That's Ladies Falcata, and these will get watered. The 2 RLC Yen 24, that one and that one. So we'll step down again, and of course this is Sesquipedale, doing wonderfully well. And I said I'd do this video so I could just show, that's a Tolumnia, that's the other bit of the Tolumnia. And these are the other 2 bits. These are growing in rockwool. So these are the other 2 bits of Tolumnia. So all these are one plant. Okay. And of course this is Cattleya persifoliana. Right. Let's see if I can bring these out of the windowsill area. Oh, just look at that. Walkeriana. Tropical. Loves it. Okay. Right, hold on. Let's start with these 2 Catasetums pileatum yellow giant. These are the ones that I've got the tubed charcoal, and I just put enough roots through that charcoal to hold them. And we've got one in a very tiny pot, and we've got this one here. Now look at the roots on that. I put fresh moss in here. Look at them. This is the other one, and this one here is giving me a baby. This is in this smaller one, and I've got a stocking over the holes, well no, just over the media to stop all the algae. But look, that one, they'll stay in here to take up this little bit of water. And here, let's just see if I can manoeuvre them round, or not, as the case might be. Hold on. This big one here. And this is in a self-watering pot. You see? Well, it's not self-watering, it's got a dome. But look at all the roots. And this is Catasetum, Orchid Glade, Davy Ranches. Right, so, hold on. So it's a big watering day today. Oh, I forgot to say the frags were watered yesterday. So it's a big watering day today and I'm nearly through the watering. And this is the other Yen 24K. And I've got another eye going to produce a new growth. That's the other new growth there. And this is Pink Diamond. I've just pulled back this outer sheath from this part. And believe it or not, I don't want to disturb it, but we've got another new growth coming on that one. Can you see? This is the, let's have a look what this one is. Rinco Catleanthe, Fushu, Glory, Happy Holiday. And of course, this one is the Brasso Catleanthe, Jarac, Firestar. And that one there is Cattleya, Love Castle, Kernua. And of course this is Cattleya Dolosa, gorgeous. You know, I can make my glasses. I'm that warm in here now. My glasses are steaming up. That's the Laelia autumnalis, and of course, this is one of the Phalaenopsis Leodora. And these others have been watered here as well. Now, what I don't do is ever give advice. I don't know whether you've ever realised that. I mean, sometimes people private message me and say they're having trouble with a Phalaenopsis or something like that. These are those that I got from the supermarket. And I will answer them. I will make a suggestion. But, can you see that one? And that one? I don't give advice. Now, I've only been growing 7 years. And to me, although I may have gleaned a lot of experience over those 7 years, I can't class myself as a experienced orchid grower to be able to give advice. So what would my suggestion be for those who are just beginning to grow orchids? Well, I think the biggest suggestion would be just to start off slowly. Now, we never do, because we get hooked so quickly that, and I was the same. If it moved, I bought it. But then, and it could have been a species, it could have been a hybrid. But then what you don't realise is that, especially if it's a species, they're a different kettle of fish altogether for their requirements. The hybrids, well, I've killed that many Phalaenopses, you know. And with me, you know, I take it personally, because I think, well, what have I done wrong? And sometimes it's not a case of what you've done wrong. This is Laelia anceps. It can just boil down to experience, knowing your environment. Well, you know, it's like with these Vandas. I mean, they're coming on lovely now. They're coming on lovely. Now, these always come in those little square baskets. And they always appear strangled to me. Now, without disturbing them, because I won't disturb them now, these were planted too low. And but if I planted them higher, then they would be too top heavy. So sometimes with your orchids it's a compromise, I suppose, like with life. And it's like orchid feed. You know, I've been watching Roger's videos, and the old adage of weekly. But then there are that many different types of fertilisers out there. How do you know you're giving the right amount or not? And this is knowing your environment. Now, over the past 2 years, I would say I've learned more, because we were subject to restrictions about going out. Sorry. So I took my time to start to understand the orchids and their requirements. Now, a lot of orchids grow out that way, and we're all inclined to accommodate the roots rather than the actual growth of the orchids. And I'd been potting, that's one of the things that I learned. I mean, I'd got all these pots, it was wonderful. And I've learned that you've got to plant, especially with Phalaenopsis types, you've got to plant shallow. That's a leaf going to drop soon. Now this is my BLC Noble Stanta, Thanta. Look at that. But if you'll notice, this isn't dehydrated anymore. And I'm hoping I've got a new growth coming. So the difference being shallow pot, the rest have all got holes in, and I can water as frequently as every other day if I wanted to, but no more than perhaps 2 days, because they dry out very quickly. That's the other little love castle, and that's got a new tiny growth. So, if you're a beginner, I mean we've all been a beginner, I've had that many orchids that I've had to throw away because I didn't understand them. And you know, I'm going into my 7th year now, and I'm really only just understanding them. So, don't despair. I've gone through every potting method you could imagine. Waterculture, leca, bark, sphagnum moss, you name it, all mounted. I've gone through everything. Grow stones, I've got leca pebbles, I've got the this pumice, got pumice, see, this, let me get up. So I've learned in my environment, which I class as intermediate during the summer months, although because we've had this extremely hot weather, I've been growing warm, but it's usually intermediate in the summer and warm in the winter. So I have 2 environments I have to contend with. So some of these orchids love it when it's warm, others hate it. And if you, what I found, if I want to adjust my orchids, then I have to do it during the summer months. I can't wait till autumn, because the daylight hours go shorter, and that's one of the big triggers, is the daylight hours. So I'm not endorsing any product, because everybody has their own opinions of what product's best, but you've got to find out what product suits your orchids, and it's all trial and error. You know, we're not putting any criticism out there. If one doesn't work, you have to try another. And it's like, excuse me, this is a Kingianum, and this is the growth he gave me this year. Look at the size of that. It's right on the rim. Now, Kingianums like to be tight in their pots. So, what am I doing about this? Well, I've got no more of those little shallow holy clay pots, so I'm doing nothing at the moment. But look, he sent out another one here. So when that gets bigger and fatter, it'll be touching the rim like that one. And you see. But so I've had to learn about these this year, and this one I had from Keith. This is Dendrobium berryoda. Same again. I'm alright with the cattleyas and the phalaenopsis. And Angraecum sesquipedale. I just leave Angraecum alone. I just make sure it's got plenty of water, it has a good flush now and again, and I'm fine with that. I'm alright with the Vandas now. Hopefully they'll drop their damaged leaves eventually. The Masdevallias I struggle with, only because we're too warm. I've had the black rot on some of these big cattleyas. I've dealt with that. Chysis labingii has never been a problem. So, and I seem to do alright with the frags. Don't ask me why I do alright with the frags. I have no idea why I do alright with the frags. But I don't intend to give advice to anybody, because we all have to fathom it out ourselves. And I think that's one of the joys of orchid growing. Okay, so we're going to lose a few, if not quite a few orchids along the way. But if they're good orchids and they're strong enough, they'll survive, and we'll have gained more experience. Like these, I can't believe how good these are. I mean, this nice big one here. So this is a two bulb division, this one and this one. So, and I've got no bugs. So this one here, which is in the shallow pot, that's a good one for me to trade as it goes into dormancy. So if anybody out there has got a trading one, then it'll come in this pot when it's finished flowering, when it's gone dormant in the winter, and all that moss is dry. Now that's fresh moss. It's got a new growth coming there, which the other one hasn't yet. So this is going to be a 4 bulb one. and I'm hoping this one will give me another one. And that's the only way we can do it now here in England. But you've got to go to a reputable person, because otherwise you might import bugs. And I tell you, once you import bugs, they're a nightmare to get rid of. Absolute nightmare. I hate them. But anyway, so we're through this hot spell now, and as we move towards weekend, temperatures are going to be 25 maybe, 25°C, which is enjoyable. So it's just a video to show that we've survived this hot spell. I wouldn't like them to be for weeks on end, I tell you. Makes me really bad, but never mind. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you dropping by. Take care now. Bye-bye.